Hello, people. This is Business Live Global. I am Johnny Boy, the Consumer Monkey McDonald. And here we are, yet again, another show, another chat with a business mover, shaker, paradigm breaker, thought leader. We're going to bring the energy in these shows. I want to hear some more about the insides of your mind, what makes you tick as an individual, and how you were able to achieve the things you achieved in life. We want these shows to be a kind of a mentor to our wider international network, and you can add value and gain connections in business by being interviewed on this show. So, who have we got in the chair for today?
Well, so I've obviously, because I'm 60, I've been in my career for a while now, and I've been, what is known as a servant leader for almost as long. I've been very blessed. I've been able to lead some really good teams and associate myself with some amazing people. But I've also been blessed too that I grew up in my career back in the day when it was command and conquer type of approach to leadership, right? Mm-hmm. And I kind of fell into servant leadership and understanding it and embracing it. And it really is surprising to me how much business today is that command and control type of leadership. So my main mantra, especially on LinkedIn and posts that I do, and even when I talk to my own teams, it's all about serving. It's all about being positive. It's all about having gratitude. It's all about mentoring. It's about helping others continue to grow within their careers, right? And grow within the organization. And you can't do that with a command and control attitude, right?
Yes, but here's the thing, and I'm sure you agree. The command and control model is what we drum into children from the age of 4.
Yep, absolutely. And I think that's the kind of the sad part, because it's one of the things I've actually posted about before, is that we should be as parents, right, or even as aunts or uncles or family members to the youth, we need to be drumming into them, not the command and control, not do as I say, don't do as I do type of mentality, but we ought to be supporting kindness. We ought to be supporting gratitude. We ought to be supporting helping others to achieve their goals, right? To help them be better people, right? And we should be leading that by example more than anything else.
Isn't the irony, though, that the reason that you and I both believe this is because we both deal with various things in our lives that give us the opportunity for self-reflection, and from there you can make those choices. Whereas if you're just in the mess of your life,
I get what you're saying, and sometimes it's that being in the mess of your life that really forges you to be a better person, right? And so, for example, I grew up in a household that wasn't the most positive, that wasn't the most nurturing, that was that very much command, do as I say or get whacked kind of mentality, right? Yeah. I grew up in a school system that way, going to I'm not going to say the denomination, but going to a private religious school where the religious leaders within the school, took to rulers, took to pulling your hair as the way to get their
spare
points
the rod,
across.
spoil the child.
Yeah. Exactly. So, but it was because of that upbringing that made me the person that I am, and because of my early on in my career, it was very much like that as well too. Made me who I am today. Made me understand that there's a better way to do it. That there's a better way to lead. By serving others. So I think what you're saying, or at least what I'm hearing, is that it's that behavior that I went through. It was that environment that I went through that shaped who I am today, that made me better to be able to help others see that. And I think there's value in that. I don't get me wrong, but too many people kind of repeat their past mistakes, right? And I think it's much better to teach the younger generation, to teach the folks that are on your teams that you lead, right? I hesitate to use the word right way, but use the word, you teach them a better way, right? To be able to lead, to be able to serve others. And I think that's how you change the world, right? That's how you change the business life.
So, given that the lump in the road starts when we are too young to defend ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and as old people, we don't have as much influence. I mean, you're giving back. You know, we first met with a coffee with Bob, a podcast you were doing regularly. You helped
Mm-hmm.
me and supported my things. What, supposing you're talking to your younger self, what three things would you tell your younger self?
That's a great question. And it's one that I've dealt with before, right? Because when I speak to my sons as an example, when I speak to my daughter as an example, I try to speak to them as if I were speaking to my younger self, right?
Ah,
And what I try to instill upon them is that you need to be able to act and react from your heart, right? It's one thing to think about, okay, this is the way I should be as a leader. This is the way I should be as an employee or a student or a child or even as a parent. But then you have to really evaluate that and say to yourself, how is that coming from a place within my heart? And how is that making me feel to do things that way? And I think when you have that introspective, right, when you look within yourself to see how your actions are what they're causing, not only externally but internally, it gives you pause, right? And you start to feel like, you know what, I wouldn't want someone to treat me this way. Why should I treat someone that way? And I think if I had to do it all over again, I really wish I had someone like that to teach me that. I really didn't get those types of lessons until I was in my mid 30s to early 40s, when I had a one of the one of my biggest mentors ever work with me. I was early on in my tech career, and the CTO that I was reporting to at the time kind of took me under my wing because he felt a kinship with me. Right? He was a non-technical person in a role as a CTO, and I was a non-technical person in the role as a director of technology. Right? We both kind of taught each other, so there was that kinship that we had. And he really taught me the benefit of surrounding yourself with people who are smarter than you, and letting them mentor you as much as you were mentoring them, right? So, they had the tech smarts to offer me. I had the business knowledge to offer them, as well as relationship knowledge and stuff like that. And that really kind of changed my life forever. And that kind of gave me the attitude and the feeling that I wanted to be a servant leader, and I wanted to serve others. Whether that was go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. It's just, look, I mean, we're of a certain age, and you really are talking about the Force, and aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from a Buddhist perspective, being at one with everything, the flow, it's interesting. Well, I say it's interesting to me. I did this advanced driving, and when you do advanced driving, it's all about the observation of what's going to happen in the future, not now. And so I have this phrase that flow is not just about my flow, it's about how I enhance the flow of everyone around me.
Yes.
So that you have safe passage through.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of like a very cognizant version of finding the path of least resistance.
Right.
So you live a life of gratitude. Why specifically, if you know?
Yeah. So one can know that they're grateful for this, that, or the other thing, but unless you're practicing that gratitude, it's never going to sink in, and it's never going to flow out from you into others to help them feel grateful as well too. I practice gratitude twice a day intentionally, right?
Yes.
What I mean by that is that I journal in the morning, and I list out three things that I'm grateful for that's going to happen in that day. And journal again in the evening and I list out three things I'm grateful for that happened in the day. And
Paper
so,
journal, digital journal.
pardon me?
Paper journal, digital journal.
I'm all the way with paper. I'm so much into paper. I don't know if you're going to see this, but I actually got myself a specialized pen that is made for people who have arthritic hands. Right, it's easier for them to hold. And it's important to me because I have MS, and it's difficult for me to hold smaller objects like pens or glasses, much to my wife's chagrin and a lot of her dishes, and stuff like that. So I had to seek out something that would allow me to be able to do that, because I think it's that important. Because when you put pen to paper, right, you're actually helping it to write within inside your brain. There's something about the tactile thing of actually putting pen to paper. Whereas if you're doing it digitally and typing, it's not going to sink in the same.
No, it definitely doesn't. It's been shown not to. So listen, we have run out of time, but well, ironically, Good Times, Bad Times is your song of choice. Why did you choose this song by Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, it's a great song, and it's about the fact that, hey, you're going to have good times, you're going to have bad times, but what counts is that you're always bringing yourself back to those good times, right?
Good stuff.
Bad times will pass, and I think most people remember that. Now, the song itself is really about Robert Plant and his girlfriend, right, and how she left him, and it was a bad time, but then he came back from that. So, but you can look at it as an analogy on life itself, right? I don't care how lucky you are. I don't care how hard you work. There are going to be potholes in life. It's going to happen.
Listen, I say what, Robert, I know we could talk forever, but you're going to miss people's opportunity to listen to the music. Enjoy, fans. Robert, thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Bye.
It was wonderful. Take care.
A couple of days before she was rid of me. She swore that she would be all mine and love me till the end. But when I whispered in her ear, I lost another friend. Oh, good times, bad times, I've had my share. When my woman left home for a brown-eyed man, but I still don't seem to care. Bad times, you know I